Hi there, welcome to Baby Bramble, where we talk about babies and all the stuff we buy to go with them. I am your baby gear expert, Julie, and today we are doing Car Seats 101. We're talking all things car seats today. Hi there, and welcome back to Baby Bramble. We're talking car seats today. Introduction to car seats. So, car seat basics. There are three main types of car seats. There's the infant car seat, there's the convertible car seat, and there's the booster seat. There's kind of a few hybrids in between, like literally called hybrids, like the hybrid booster that's in between the convertible and the booster. But the basic categorization is infant, convertible, booster. Infant seat is good for typically newborn to about a year. Convertible, many are newborn ready to about 4 years. And then boosters are 4 years and up. So let's get started, shall we? So because some convertible seats are able to hold a newborn, it is possible that to skip out on buying a newborn infant car seat. Same thing. Newborn car seat, infant car seat, bucket seat are all referring to the same style of car seat. This one I have right here with this handy dandy handle. It is possible to completely skip out on the infant seat because many convertibles can hold a newborn, but the infant seat is designed for convenience. And oh, how convenient it is, because it is the only seat. There might be some weird one on the market, but it's the only seat that you can take the whole seat in and out of the car without uninstalling it and click it into a stroller without having to remove the baby. It's the big difference. Convertible seats, you install the seat into the car and the baby can come in and out of the seat. With the infant car seat, I can take this whole seat out and leave this piece in the car. Now this is the big difference with the convertible seat and the infant seat. This is what they refer to as a base. There are quite a few convertible seats that kind of look like they have a base, but that's also, you can adjust the angle of the seat. It has a pivot point on it. It's not a base like this base where you can take the seat in and out. This, and you can buy multiples of these. They sell the bases separately. You could have a base in your car, and if there's a nanny or a grandparent, they can have a base in their car. And then you can get your little newborn, your tiny infant, all set up in the car seat inside, in the comfort of your own dwelling unit. Get the kids set up, get them cozy, pick up this handle, carry them outside, and then line it up and click it in. It's all convenience. This seat, and again, there might be one on the market that will be the exception to this rule. The infant seat is also the only one you can click into a stroller. Otherwise, it's take the kid out of the seat, car seat, put them into stroller seat. This can be very convenient when traveling, because not all strollers have a seat that you can remove, but there are quite a few where you can remove the seat. Now you just have the frame of the stroller. It's a little bit lighter, it's a little bit simpler. You just throw the frame of the stroller in the car, and then you get your infant seat. You hop in your car, you pop out, you whip out the frame of the stroller, you pop the car seat into it, you're good to go. This also brings up travel systems. I will have a separate video that goes into details on travel systems, but when you ever see advertised the Graco travel system, the Kiko travel system, the Nuna travel system, the Up-A-Baby travel system, what they're referring to is their infant car seat fits into their stroller. That's it. It's not anything extra than that. Do note that many of the brands mix and match. Not all of them, But for instance, this car seat here is the brand Nuna, and I did not get a Nuna stroller. I got an Up-A-Baby stroller. They're designed to mix and match. You just have to buy the right adapter. As you can see, it starts getting more complicated. We will talk about travel systems in another video. Back to car seats. We started touching on the infant car seat. I will also touch upon the convertible. We'll work our way up. So, infant. Start from the basics. And the super basics are, how does this get into my car? All car seats, you are able to install the car seat into the car using the latch system or a seatbelt system. All cars made in the past 50 years, unless it's some sort of very, I mean, regulation-wise, all cars made in like the past 50 years have a latch system built into the car. If I am able to find a car, I will point at it. Pointing at the latch system here, see? Here's the latch system. Latch. Latch. And there. Hey-ya! In here. A little hard to see, but you see that little piece of metal? That's your latch. So unless it's some sort of very old car, perhaps some sort of very sporty European car that doesn't have the same regulations, or perhaps some sort of military vehicle, or I did know someone who was trying to get a car seat into an ATV. An ATV does not have a latch system, but other cars do. And it's just a little spot for these things to click into. So this design, these fold out, these click in. And let's zoom in a little bit here. Do you see his little teeth? It has little teeth. I'm a big fan of these style car seats. These style car seats, the ones that have little teeth, are a little bit more expensive than the ones that just have hooks. Ugh. Hook. This is a latch hook. There's nothing, it's not that this is less safe than the other one. It's really, again, it's just convenience. I don't own a car, so I knew that there would be a lot of uninstalling, reinstalling of any car seat that I got. So a lot of my motivation for picking out car seats was what's easy to install. What's easy to install with the seatbelt? What's an easy latch to install? These hooky things are not the easiest to work with. If you're only installing it once, if you plan on installing that seat and then not touching it, these are great. And they're cheaper. And they tend to be on lighter car seats. But if you're thinking, I need to get that thing in and out all the time, I need it to be easy, I need it to be quick, I like these. I will go into this more in my deeper dive on infant car seats. But you see here, oh, look how easy that would be. This is only easy if the seat of your car is very flat. Car seats that tend to be a little bit more expensive have different reasons for being a little bit more expensive. A lot of times we have steel frames, we have additional features, but ease of install tends to also be a reason for why a seat might be a little bit more expensive. This one has these hooks, but one thing you want to look out for when picking a seat is this one works if your seat is pretty flat, because you can see these have very set angles. If you have a funky shaped seat that is very curved, this you might have a little bit more trouble with. Many seats, you see there, has something to help you adjust the height, but you can see this has two. It has this thing down, or that thing up. It has two height adjustments, it's it. You are allowed to adjust the height on your own if you need to. Some people use towels. Towels can compress over time. That's why things like pool noodles tend to be pretty popular, because the foam will hold its shape over longer periods of time than, say, a towel. There are companies that sell glorified pool noodles. Diono does sell basically a glorified piece of pool noodle that you can buy. Pool noodles also work. I also mentioned that all of these can be installed with a seat belt. They will all be very well labeled with picture instructions on how to install it with a seat belt. For the infant seat belt comes up through here. I'll also take this moment to note, infant seats face backwards. I watched a very cute video the other day of this very cute little girl. The theme of the video was that she had a fun laugh, but she was in an infant seat that was facing forwards, which means that at no point were any of the stickers, the many stickers on these seats, at no point were they red. R-E-A-D, red, because all of them say this is how to install the seat, and it installs the seat so the baby faces backwards. That is because most car accidents are the car direct hitting something in front of it. And if your kid is facing forwards, like a driver or a passenger facing forwards when you hit something in front of you, you move like this. And you get a lot of neck movement. Whereas if you're facing backwards, you go like this into your seat. Nice and soft. Because when you're a tiny baby, you don't want to give a tiny baby whiplash. That is the whole reason why all the seats are backwards. Our car seat reps would often say, all seats in a car would be backwards if we could drive that way. Sure. There is a point where when the kid gets bigger, the seats are designed to face forwards. The reason why this is called a convertible car seat is not because it is a transformer. It is because it has two places, 1, 2, to install the seat. When the baby is small, hopefully between newborn and 2 years old, the seatbelt and or latch system will go through the base here, and they will be rear facing. The baby will face backwards. And then when they are old enough, the car seat is able to then be installed facing forwards. The convertible car seats are the only car seats designed to face backwards and then face forwards. Infant car seats are designed to only face backwards, and booster seats are designed to only face forwards. It's something we encounter a lot. So I brought up installation. All car seats have a latch system to allow them to install into the car. That includes the booster, actually. The fun thing with boosters, though, is that booster seats do not have these straps, because by the time the kid is in a booster, the design is made with the assumption that the adult seatbelt is what is holding the child in the car. The latch system, when they are in a booster, is solely to hold the seat in place. Some boosters don't even have a way to attach to the car, because the whole point of them is to boost the kid up to the right height to reach the adult seatbelt. So what have I talked about? I've talked about the latch system. all seats have the ability to latch into the car. Infant seats latch rear facing. Convertible seats latch rear facing and forward facing when the kid is a little bit older. All of the car seats have the ability to be installed just using an adult seatbelt, just in case. Some of the reasons for this is if you wanted to install a car seat in the center is very popular for a few reasons. One, people like the center because it's further away from the doors. Being further away from the doors technically means less risk of side impact because they're further away from the doors. However, this has some practical difficulties. One, they're further away from the doors, which means that you have to lean a lot more to get the kid into the seat, which may not be a big deal, but what tends to be the bigger deal is that a lot of center seats in cars are narrower than the side seats, which means they tend to be shaped a little differently. Sometimes they have a funky bulge, but more often than just it being weird shaped is they don't have their own latch system. Latches have a regulation width, and if the center seat is smaller, it probably won't have its own latch. So I have seen when you have latches that are attached to a strap, some of them have hooks, some of them don't. You will see a lot of car seats that have a strap for their latch. You can I've seen people borrow from the latches next to them. And you see with this style, there's no borrowing. That is very rigid. But with the loosey-goosey latches, you can kind of borrow from the side. That's not regulation. I'm not supposed to recommend it. It's not the worst thing if you can get a good install. And a good installation is getting your hand up by the spot closest to the back of the seat, up by the latch, non-dominant hand, and give it a shake. And if it moves, it's not tight enough. So if this is the part installed into the car, I'm a righty, so I'd have my left hand up here and I'd give it a shake. And if it doesn't move, you're good. If you get a little bit of wiggle out here, you're still fine. It's up here that we're worried about. Oh my God, so much information. So I've seen people kind of borrow from the side latches, which on its own, you're not supposed to do it. But if you can get a good installation, whatever. What I've seen though is that doing this, those latch straps get in the way of a seat belt. So you could have a seat installed in the center, and then someone gets in and wants to sit next to the kid, but there's a strap over the seatbelt buckle now. So if you don't want to have to keep uninstalling and reinstalling the seat, that defeats the purpose. Perhaps if you really want to use the center and the latches are not the regulation width, so they're blocking the seatbelt, you can install in the center using a seatbelt. But if the seat has a weird curve to it, you might not get a good installation no matter what you do, because the seat's just shaped weird. This is when, if you are dead set on the center, that's when you start pulling out towels and you start pulling out pool noodles. But when you start pulling out additional things, you just have a greater risk for human error at that point, because now you're just trying to make it work instead of having it work the way it was really originally designed. I typically will encourage the seat being installed behind the front passenger. And our general rule is protect the driver first and then the passenger. Because if the driver gets cramped, that means the driver has the possibility of having some impairment to their ability to hit the brakes, their ability to hit the gas, their ability to gear shift. You want the driver to be as comfortable as they're supposed to be, with their legs at the appropriate length for them to drive as well as they can. Whereas the passenger is not affecting how the car is driven. So you can scrunch up the passenger a little bit. And do note, when you do an installation behind the passenger seat, you don't want the seat of the car to hit or touch. Like, it can touch, but it's not supposed to put any pressure on the car seat. This has confused some people because a lot of times they will get the car seat in there and they'll install the seat, it's rear facing, and then they'll back up the passenger seat right into the car seat. And now the car seat doesn't move. It's perfect. The car seat's wedged in there. But if you ever move the passenger seat, suddenly your installation is compromised. And that's the whole reason why we don't want the passenger seat really interacting with the car seat when you do an installation, or ever. It can touch if you have long legs and you just want a little bit of room. But you want the seat to be fully installed and stable without the front passenger seat having to hold it in place or anything like that. I will also throw in a fun note, because we will go deeper into this with infant car seats, but do know when you're looking at infant car seats, the base can be installed with latches or with the seatbelt. Seatbelt goes under there. But the other fun thing with the infant car seat, if you're thinking, don't want to install the base, or I'm traveling, or I'm hopping in an Uber, notice this blue that matches the blue on the base. This seat, all by itself, can be installed with a seatbelt. There are handy dandy instructions on the side. All infant car seats can be installed in a car without the base using a seatbelt, and all of them will have instructions on a sticker on the side. Typically, seatbelt goes across the lap. This one I picked because the shoulder part of the belt can also go behind the head. Color coordination. Seatbelt installation. I think that is almost everything I wanted to talk about. Oh, also, many of these rock. Isn't that so cool? And this handle's adjustable. It doesn't have to stay up here. This goes out of the way. I know, they're so convenient. I don't even have a car, and I was still like, I'm just gonna get an infant seat too. They're just so easy. And when your kid's a newborn and you want them to sleep really bad, and they don't have muscles in their spine, so they're just little jellyfish, it's just so easy to be like, hey kids, just stay in the seat for a minute, and I'll just carry you in the seat. Ooh, I should also point out, while we're doing intro to car seats, you want the kid's shoulder straps to be at the kid's shoulder, like right at shoulder height, or maybe just below the kid's shoulders. You don't want them up above. And that's because, again, if there's any sort of accident and you have all this space above the shoulder, the kid has room to move up, which we don't want. We want the kid to be in the seat as much as possible, because the seat is their nice protective shell. So, at shoulder, a little bit behind shoulder. You can adjust seats. The lighter seats, the adjustment tends to be, there's a hook back here, you unhook it, you rethread it, you rehook it. Some of the fancier, more expensive, or just a little bit heavier seats tend to have a little pull thing up here so you can mechanically adjust the straps. For your convenience, summaries for intro to car seats: infant seats, convertible seats, booster seats. Hybrid seats exist in between convertible and booster because some convertibles, like this one, are not the biggest seats in the world, and I don't think this will hold a 4-year-old. Infant seats, good for newborn to about the first year. It goes until they are 30 inches long, and you want it to be 30 inches long. You want the head to be about within an inch of the top of the seat. So if we're looking at this, head within an inch of that. That's when you want to move up a seat. You can move up sooner if you want. No reason to not move up sooner if you want to move up sooner. I have another video for why you might move a seat sooner or later. Convertible seats, some are newborn ready, some are start when they're about, what do you say? Use only with children who weigh between 22 and 40 pounds and whose weight is between 29 and 43 inches and who are at least 1 year old. When in doubt, read the stickers. Please read the stickers. Convertible seat. Potentially newborn, but some types are more like 1 year to about 4 years old. Booster seats, 4 years until they're about 7 or 8, depending on their height. Because the height is really what you need for the adult seat belt. Hybrid seats are typically more ages 2 to ages 4, 6, 8. There are boosters that come with backs on them, and those, well, if it's a booster seat, it still starts at 4. But the ones with the backs can help direct the seat belt of the car. So those are nice. There are many different styles of car seats. Some are narrower, some are wider. Some are very wide because they have basically airbags on the side. And then everything in between, you can get ones with steel frames, you can get ones that are light. I have a light one because travel. I didn't want to travel with a big heavy steel one. And having a very fancy installation was not beneficial to my lifestyle. So matching it up with your lifestyle. If you have multiple children and you have to fit multiple car seats in the car, you might not be looking at one that has extra airbags on the side. You might be looking for a slightly narrower one. Yeah, stay tuned. I will do deep dives on infant seats, convertible seats, and booster seats. And then I have that video for why you might time out when you buy different seats. Thank you so much for watching. I'd like to thank my husband, who is sitting over at the kitchen table just over there, very kindly not mocking me while I film. Very generous of him. Thank you for visiting us at Baby Bramble. We'll see you next week. Hey there, thanks for watching that video. We have a lot more video ideas, so let us know in the comments if there's any you want us to do first. Thank you so much to my wonderful husband for doing most all of the editing. Like and subscribe. We'll see you next week.